Tesla no good. What do you reckon?
I think the pessimists would suggest that Tesla was not going to work. Electric cars, how is this even possible? How can you drive long distances? How are you going to recharge? When those batteries run out, it's going to be a costly exercise. I think haters were hating it.
How many
What do you
times
reckon?
how many times have I heard Tesla is now I think a 14-year-old company, right? How many
Yeah.
times in the media have I read a piece of media? Now, I think I'm a bit of a magnet for Tesla media. I do like consuming it, so I get that I'm served it up more than most people. But how many times I've read in the media that the battery technology is not going to happen? You remember when they first came out, they're like, you know what? After 4 years, throw out the car. The battery will be no good. It's going to be so cost prohibitive. Tesla came along and did an 8-year battery warranty thing. Bang, nipped that one in the bud. Then people are like, you know what? I can't even drive it to Coffs Harbour. I can't even drive to Queensland. I can't even drive it anywhere on the range. Bang, they've got wonderful range. Like every single time that company had no money, the company was running on thin air. Now it's more worth. It's the most valuable car manufacturer in the world. And some of these car manufacturers have been in the business for 80, 90 years.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, there was one major car company, right, that just got completely wiped out not that long ago. And this is the thing, and I know we're always talking about innovation, but, no one has innovated better than Tesla. When that car came out, Mark, I remember we rented one. You and I were away with the kids in America, and we rented I'm not great with my cars, but it was the 4-wheel drive version of the Tesla. And we got in and we felt like we were the Jetsons, right? This is going back maybe sort of
the P100DX.
P100DX. And even then I was like, nah, I don't know. It's like there's nothing inside this car. You get in and, I know that you certainly loved it, but we were driving along the freeway in San Diego, driving to LA, and we had to stop and recharge. Remember that? And we were like, oh my God, what's going on with this car? Like, how far has it come in that 3-4 year period is phenomenal, right?
It's nuts.
It's insane. Not only that, but can I just say, can I just say that those charging stations are always in the prime position. A Tesla charging station, you got a Costco, you got a Westfields. They're like, it's like you've parked in bloody valet. They get the best spots on top of everything else. You're certainly treated like the VVIP.
Well, you know what? If Elon Musk listened to the media, he certainly would have been out of business. This is a guy that had a vision, that had a passion, knew what was right for his community, knew what was right for his world, more so, and he just kept going, kept innovating, kept building. He got some amazing people around him, and what a tenacious guy. What a tenacious guy.
And, tenacious, and I often talk about courage, and you're right, that word tenacity, right? Because trying to block out noise when you're doing things differently is hard, because, you're trying to forge ahead and going, no, I know that this is the right way forward. I know it is, but 100 million people will tell you why that's not going to work. Now, what are those shares doing, Mark, for Tesla? We're not much for shares, obviously. We're property people, but I do believe that's not a bad one to be following.
It is nuts. Shares wise, they are sitting at $2,000 for one share. I read the other day. Like that is.
Why didn't we buy those, Mark?
Well, I know. Well, I think the stat that I saw was the three biggest. I don't know if it was the three biggest or they were massive oil companies. If it wasn't the three biggest oil companies, Tesla was more valuable than the three biggest oil companies in the world.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's insane. And you know what happens? You know what happens now, though? now that it's obviously become the overnight success,
Yeah.
what ends up happening now is everyone goes, I knew it. I swear I knew those electric cars were going to do well, and everyone runs out and buys a Tesla. That's
Yeah.
what ends up happening. Mark, you've got a Novak banner that you've put on, which is awesome, but it's
Yeah.
covering
It's
half your
over
head.
my head. Look at that. I'm trying to move it. I'm
It's
trying to move the camera
it's
around so
like
it's not going over my nugget. There you go. Is that better?
that's a yeah, that's better. It's
Oh,
like
there
you've got
you
a no.
go.
It's like
I'm
you've got a Novak bandana on.
yeah, yeah.
It's cool,
So,
but that's what happens, right? So, and that's with any sort of innovation. Everyone's going to go, nah, nah. Look, again, when we started our business 19 years ago and never had property photos in the window, everyone was like, you can't do this. What are you doing? And you do start sometimes to question yourself and go, are we like crazy? Are we doing the right thing here? We definitely are. You go back, you look at the figures, and then a couple of years later, everyone starts to do it, and everyone's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. We never loved, that whole look of having photos in the windows, or,
oh,
and the same thing's
oh,
happening now with social media.
well, yeah. Look, I remember. Yeah, I remember having the amount of discussions I had with our sales reps about placards in the window, and they were like, "Look, you just can't. Like, you have to have properties in the window. We're the only agent in Sydney that doesn't have properties in the window," and I'm like, "We've done the research. People don't go to the window. Out of the last 30, 40, 50 sales we've done, no one has said, I have bought it from the window." So I said, instead of us focusing on, say it's the 30th thing that people do to find a property, it sits number 30 on the list. I would rather put all the energy, all the focus, all the time, and all the money in the top 5 things, harvest those things, get those things better, because they're the things that are generating the inquiries. And I think that Tesla, at the same time, he was sitting there, people are going, look, you can't possibly do it this way. You can't possibly get the end. And he's like, I can, we will. And he just pushed and he pushed and he pushed. But it's he has just taken that company. But if that company was run on negative publicity, it would be a phenomenal company, even more so.
Yeah,
Like if that
that's
was
right.
if Tesla was run on negative publicity, it would definitely be number one in the world. If it must be getting
Yeah.
close to even
You
being number
know,
one
you
in the
know,
world.
you know what ends up happening with the crazy dreamer. I often say if you're crazy enough to dream it, you're crazy enough to do it. And for
Yeah,
those people that are and that will push through the noise, often you'll find it's the noise that catapults you. I
yep.
know, like for me personally, and Mark, I know you're exactly the same. When people give you all the reasons why something can't be done, it's like, you know what? Watch me, and it ignites this fire right in you if you're that way geared. But a lot of people aren't, because of course there's this herd mentality. But the pessimists is always an interesting topic, always an
But if you
interesting
look at
topic.
Tesla and you go, even the design, like people were looking at the design going, yeah, look, it's not really German engineering. It's not really German
Yeah,
luxury inside. Don't really like it. Not really into it. Not. There was just so much pushback. Like I'm talking crazy pushback. I don't
yeah,
know how someone like Elon Musk got up every day and pushed forward to do what he had to do for the last 14 years. Like, talk about adversity. Like, talk about a non-believer. Like that. Do you remember he even got removed from being CEO of his company for one of his Twitter posts,
oh my God,
right? So, and a bit
that's
like Steve Jobs.
crazy.
Steve Jobs
But
was a bit
it's
like
not.
that. He got removed as
Yeah,
CEO as well, and then they brought him back, and they're like, no, 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 no,
but
no, we like it.
it's interesting though what that car represents. And I know we're talking about the pessimists, and today the people that will tell us all the things that can't be done and why we shouldn't be doing them a certain way. And today we're talking about Tesla and what a
Yeah,
global sensation that's obviously been.
but
But
nah,
what's interesting about a Tesla, Mark, is that the message that it represents as well, what the connotation is there with that car. Because you're quite right, you get in it. I know we've driven one, we've test driven a few, and you get in and you're like, really? Like, it's nice, but it's about the performance and the convenience.
He was
So
smoking
I
a joint
know.
with Joe Rogan.
Possibly, maybe that was the inspiration, who knows.
Yeah.
But it's funny, right, what that represents, because it is truly about the convenience. I mean, we know people that have them and that are raving fans,
Yep.
and that will refer them over and over again. And they certainly talk about the convenience factor. Now,
Well, you know what I found that he did, Lisa, as part of his success? Success is he fed what worked, and he took away and removed what didn't work. So
yeah,
what? And he did it famously. He did it with breeze. So anything that was adversely affecting his business, he simply sorted it out. And then it was amazing the way he did that, because if you looked at range, for example, the range of the original car was like, you can't even drive around the city. It has a flat battery, blah 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 blah. And all he did was sorted it out. Didn't mean you had to sell the car and buy another car. He did like a performance upgrade, software upgrade, and the software
yeah.
upgrade enabled the car to travel further. Not changing batteries, not changing car, not sort of stuff. So he actually was just tenacious about listening to that media, listening to that negative activity, and adopting the positives out of that and forging forward. It's really an incredible
What about
story for
what about
America.
what about never having to service it? I mean, if you look at, I
Yeah,
mean, we lead
yeah,
really, really busy lives. Can you imagine a car? Like, I mean, we're very fortunate that we drive really nice cars, good, reliable cars.
yeah,
My car's like always, I just picked it up yesterday. It needed the stuff done with the rim and the tire and all this sort of stuff. But I feel like it's forever going in for something like yours is. Imagine if you've got a car, how many hours you would get back in your week when you didn't have to service and fuel and do all those things to your car.
yeah, yep.
Imagine how
It's
much more
really
productive it is.
and the real and all that stuff. Like if you look at all of that negativity over all that time in the service, and what are you going to do when the brakes run down? Well, we don't have brakes on the car. The brakes or we do have brakes, but they're regenerative brakes. They're not pads like the old brakes. Oh, what are you going to do when the car runs out of battery? Well, we're going to have more battery stations sitting around the city, so you won't get. What are you going to do when the battery fails after 3 years? Well, we're going to do an 8-year
Yeah,
warranty on the battery. The
it's
battery, like
crazy.
every single, all that negative stuff, and even it's got to a stage where he was going out of business. It got to a stage, probably a couple of times, I think they were like, you know what, the company makes no profit. That's probably the biggest one. The company makes no profit. And he was like,
At
yeah,
$2,000 a share, something tells me they're making a profit now. But
well, yeah. And they make and talk about adversity. Like if you're running a company that makes no money, and people are still pouring money in, you must be on a good thing.
hey, but you know what, Mark? How many people just never get to the stage where they start to thrive just like Tesla, where they stop and they go, you know what? Oh, my mum told me it won't work. My colleagues have told me it won't work. My husband's told me it won't work. And they stop mid-track, boom, like that. And they take a different course.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then they fail. So, it's hard. It's hard to break through the noise, and it's hard to not listen to the pessimists
Well,
in in in
Apple.
in, in any
Let's
industry.
Absolutely. Like Lesio just brought up Apple. I remember when the Steve Jobs passed away, everyone was like, Apple's screwed. Like I knew they were screwed. I knew they weren't going in a good direction since he got sick. And now that he's gone, no good. If you look at Apple shares at the moment, if you look at what Apple's producing and sales and stuff through COVID, oh my God. So
Oh
at
my
the end of the
gosh. Yeah.
day,
God.
haters are gonna hate, and Tesla's just gonna keep on forging. Apple's gonna keep on forging. It's almost like, who do you want to? It makes me think. It makes me be really careful about who I want to back, because when I see good products and good services that are out there, I sort of want to back them more violently, because it's like, I knew they were good. You know, you're happy. It's like,
Yeah.
why? Yeah, but it's like not buying the share. It's like, I knew I should have bought that share. Damn. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah, yeah. But then it's funny. But and we can equate this to property as well, right? Because
yeah,
how many times do we hear in a week? The market's gonna drop. Don't buy
yeah,
now. It's gonna crash.
yeah,
Wait until September
yeah,
when everything stops. Just wait. And then of course the government has now pushed that out to March. Oh, wait until March. It's a cliff. Everyone's going to go falling off, and then we'll pick up the bargain properties. Property's going to plummet, and then it doesn't plummet. And I'm always saying to buyers, what if it doesn't?
yeah. But you know
What if
what?
it
The message
doesn't?
out,
Because
Lisa, you're absolutely
yeah,
right. And you know
but you know
the
what?
message, the
Sorry, we
message
keep
out to
talking every time.
sorry, the message out to everyone today is if you feel passionate about a product or a service and you know it's good, but you're worried about what everyone else is saying, follow your true north. You know, and God, I should have bought Tesla shares.
That's for sure. But and just to finish up, Mark, it really just, if you break it down, what
Yeah,
do these products stand for? What does Apple stand for? What does Tesla stand for? I
yeah,
see convenience. That's what I see. I see convenience. I see that they've moved away from luxury, because there's nothing overly luxurious about holding a massive phone in your hand all
yeah.
day, but it's bloody convenient. And it's the same with a
Bloody,
Tesla. You don't hop in and go, oh, this is nice and comfy. You hop in and you go, where am I putting my water bottle?
well, that's
Like,
right.
it's not about that. It's about convenience. That's what it's all
That's
about.
right.
So,
Good morning to Luke.
yeah,
Good morning to Luke Moroney. G'day to Martin Wong and Mal. How are you, Lesio? How are you guys? Great topic that I'm very passionate about this morning. Tesla.
yes,
If I do say
it's a
so
really
myself,
good topic.
it's a great topic, and it just really opens my eyes to, if you know something's good, guys, and it's in your heart of hearts, in your north of north, you know it's that thing. But people are saying, "No,
Go
look, I'm not
for it.
sure." Bloody go for it. It'll work.
Absolutely. What's the worst thing that'll happen anyway?
Yeah. Sell the
You'll
Tesla.
just not.
Sell,
But you'll just,
sell
you
the
know
bed.
what, you'll fall down and you'll just dust your knees off and get back up again. But yeah,
That's it.
like, obviously we're huge advocates for it. You know what? Follow your passion, follow your dream. Don't listen to the noise. Yeah,
If
I
you love,
love it. Have a great day, guys.
if you love property, just get in it, Luke. I want a Tesla as well. But love you guys. Thank you.
I
Hope you
want
had
to
a good
tell a
connection.
secret. I want to tell a
Right.
secret before we go. I want to tell a secret. Mark,
Right.
you want a Tesla so badly. We have got a Tesla charger in our car park in the office. Something tells me he's going to be buying one.
I can
I
I
know
can
what's
see a
going on
Tesla at
here.
the moment. I can see a Tesla. I just saw one. It's a sign. And I must admit, I think some of the sales reps brought it up the other day in the office and were like, "Have you ever used that Tesla charger?" And I said, "Yeah." And they said, "Who's used the Tesla charger?" And I said, "Tom Panos." And they said, "What? Once." And I went, "Yes." Anyway, that's it.
You're going to work
Thanks.
out a way to like charge something else from that. I swear you will. You'll be charging your mobile phone or something off it. All right, guys, have a great day.
Luke Moran is right. Infrastructure first. Go, Mark. It's true. It's true. Build and they will come. They are.
Guys, if anyone's ever in DY with a Tesla, Novak has a charger. See you guys.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.